Hello, it is I, Kemi, and this love story of mine is soon turning to ashes. Ever since my birthday celebration, my bond with Bro Caleb had grown stronger. Just thinking about him kept me vibrant throughout the day. One Sunday morning, I woke up feeling light and joyful. A song bubbling in my heart that overflowed into humming and singing. I wasn't entirely sure why I felt this elation, but Bro Caleb was undoubtedly a significant part of it. I held the prayer manual he gave to me. A blush crept over me at the memory of something he had said 2 weeks earlier after our usual Tuesday evening service. Mommy, do you have a plan of how you want your family to look like? I mean, as a potential wife? What? Did he just say potential wife? I clutched my Bible to my bosom to reduce the tension. Well, yes. No, I stuttered. He chuckled lightly and added, Mommy, you ought to have a plan already. Let God know this plan every morning during your prayers. He alone can help you fulfill this. He placed his left hand on my right shoulder and continued, peering deeply into my eyes. I know what I want. I know exactly what I want, and I certainly would reach for it. He squeezed my shoulder fondly and added, Know exactly what you want, dear. My heartbeat paused for a second and then started punching fast. Take this prayer manual, Mommy. There's a blank space. Write out your prayer request, especially regarding your marriage life. You wouldn't want to make a mistake in marriage, would you? I shook my head in the negative and he continued, Good. I wouldn't want that too. The prayer manual contains a prayer guide from October to December. Read the scriptures contained also, and you share with me every day. And feel free to ask me any question. Okay? I nodded in the affirmative. We parted ways finally. I lay softly on the bed that evening and flapped through the prayer manual booklet. The first page revealed a writing made by Bro Caleb to a very special person, my pretty baby, Mommy. You are loved. I was now truly convinced. He was just waiting for the right time, and I would wait also. The fact that he peered into my eyes and assured me that he knew what he wanted was a fact that I was the one he actually wanted. My thoughts were interrupted by Sarah. Sarah had just returned from the bathroom. She flung the door swiftly and I flinched. Aren't you through with your preparation yet? She asked calmly. Almost, I replied. Then, you have to hurry up. We do not have all the time, and if you are not fast enough, you sure have to catch me in church. Indeed, Sarah was not the type that cares much about her physical appearance. Since she doesn't make use of any makeup at all, she spent less than 15 minutes dressing up and hardly uses the mirror. My cell phone beeped. I tried to ignore the call and check who the caller was on our way to church. The persistency of the call made me return. I was almost thrown off balance when I discovered it was Oluwaseun, my immediate younger sister. She was wailing like someone had died. My heartbeat increased immediately and a million thoughts ran through my mind. Seun, Kilode. I screamed as tears began to pour uncontrollably before my eyes. Mom, I heard her say. I was sweating and had taken the next available vehicle back to Ile-Ife, our family house. A million thanks to God it was only a 4-hour journey. After I hung up the call I had received from Seun, my sister, I threw up. I was awed by the information she had given. Negative thoughts ran through my mind. It shouldn't be my mother. Maybe someone else. I cried for almost an hour. Sarah tried to succor me. She also helped me pick few clothes into a traveling bag. "You need to go home immediately," Sarah said, handing the bag to me. "Thank you so much, Sister Sarah. You are truly a sister," I had said, fastening my footwear. I thought of informing Bro Caleb about my unplanned movement, but I recalled he doesn't entertain calls early hours of a Sunday till the end of the service. "Please, help me inform everyone in the fellowship. Tell them I covet their earnest prayers," I told Sarah, hoping she understood what I meant by everyone. "Of course, dear. We'll keep praying for you. Take good care of yourself and younger ones. Be cool, okay?" I hugged her for a while, and when I let go, I noticed she had a tear in her eye. "Be fine, my dear," she whispered. "Thank you so much," I replied, and left for Ile-Ife. I sat at the far end of the vehicle. My world seemed dead. Indeed, a forlorn figure I was. My heart rummaged about the scratchy event that preceded the marriage of my parents. My mother seemed to regret every bit of her action. She indeed wished she had an opportunity. She would have gone back in time and made things right. "You mustn't make that silly mistake," she would almost say in tears to me every time. My mother was an orphan who knew no love. She lived with her aunt, who delighted in stretching her entire being in hard labor, and would not hesitate to spank her silly at the slightest error. She met my father, a young undergraduate, in the village during one of his intermittents. He had shown her love she never knew. Ladies soon began flooding all over my father. My mother, in her state of fear, did what she had to do to protect her territory. Her action led to the conception of a child, Kemi Benga Jibola. I am that child. My mother's aunt sacked her out like a chicken. My father's parents were disappointed and forced him into marrying my mother, thereby making him a school dropout. He was so sad and blamed her. He promised to make life difficult for her, and he is indeed fulfilling it. He is at the peak of it. He had stabbed my mother with a cooking knife and disappeared in thin air. I prayed silently, hoping my mother doesn't die. She's all I have as a parent. For the monster, my father, I wished him bad luck. I suddenly jerked into consciousness. I sighed and reached for my cell phone. I had missed 7 calls, 5 from Bro Caleb and 2 from Sarah. I sighed again and rolled my eyes. I noticed the lady beside me, her tiny baby and her husband. They were having a chit-chat and laughing out heartily. Sweet family, I thought silently. I wondered if such families existed on planet Earth. Of course, I had to expect such, because Bro Caleb and I would make a good match. I wasn't envisaging for anything less. He knew the rules of love and care, and he abided. The radio, which had been playing different songs that was rather absurd to me, soon caught my attention. A guest speaker, according to the presenter, was invited to speak on the perfect will or permissive will. The name of the guest speaker, Evangelist Rosalind Johnson, sent signals to me. I wondered where I had the name. I suddenly recalled that she was Sarah's model. Sarah had lots of her books as well as audio messages, which she claimed was a strong pillar in her Christian life. The evangelist was now saying, "The depth of marriage is intense. You should go into it prepared. The breadth of marriage is comprehensive. Adequate planning and purposefulness is inevitable if you must have a fulfilling married life." It is rather saddening to know that many young people have not discovered themselves, neither their purpose for being created. They lack focus, vision, and foresight. They pair themselves in twos and profess mere carnal affection, battered and smeared by lust. They are purposeless and are driven by their flesh. At the long run, they regret. If there is anything I love about the evangelist, it would certainly not be far from her eloquent speaking. She pronounced her words one at a time, articulating the right word like a phonetician. She continued saying, "The question is, are you truly saved? If you must do the will of God in marriage, you must be a child of His. Dearly beloved, don't rush into marriage. Don't go for a permissive will, because you will never know satisfaction there. His perfect will is perfect." She paused for a while and gave room for the incoming calls and text comments of people. The cohesive relationship I had built between Bro Caleb and I in my heart shattered, leaving me puzzled. Inasmuch as I had seen signs from which I had induced Bro Caleb had affection for me, he hadn't been clear about it. A part of me felt things might not work out, and yet another part of me maps out reason why things would work out. Goose pimples swatted me from head to toe, and I became apprehensive as the latter part of me was losing ground. The reasons did not satisfy my anxiousness. I wondered if I would ever survive the trauma if Bro Caleb chose someone else over me. I remembered my mother's condition again, and I felt empty. Hot tears ran down my cheeks. I feared losing my mother to death and losing Bro Caleb to another person. I wouldn't survive any. I dried my eyes with the back of my palm, but the tears were streaming even more. I was sniffing uncontrollably, which made the baby bury his eyes on me. A part of me kept whispering, "Pray." But before I could put myself together, the vehicle